Com and the director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival, which is less than 2 weeks away. Next Sunday, July the 17th, we are going to be screening a great program, and one of those films is Brew Story. And we're here to talk to Jake Barcus about that. What's up, Jake?
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for coming. Where are you from, and where did you shoot this one?
I am from Cleveland, Ohio, and we shot not quite in Cleveland. We shot about 30 minutes away in a city called Medina, but still you could consider it Cleveland. But yeah, all locally in Ohio, shot, produced.
All right. Well, I don't want to give away your story. And can you give us a synopsis kind of in your own words of what people are going to see on July 17th?
Basically, it's about a guy who really wants a cup of coffee, and he's got a really long drive ahead of him. He's tired. He needs to get there. Coffee shop is closed. They're not budging. They're not giving him what he wants. So he opens up some negotiation tactics and starts figuring out, what lengths he's willing to go to get that cup of coffee.
And dark comedy.
It's hard to talk about without really
no, it's cool.
Giving it away.
It's funny. We've screened this one at multiple festivals. We were just having a conversation earlier. This one is screened in Houston at Portland Comedy. I mean, you're really doing well on the film festival circuit. How has that been for you just overall off the top of your head? Like, how many festivals do you think you've been in at this point?
Probably like 10 or 11, and half of those are probably your festivals, but it's definitely a big confidence boost because this is the first time I've ever submitted anything to a festival. You were the first person to ever email me and accept me to a festival, so it's definitely been a big confidence boost as a filmmaker to continue doing this.
Man, I just love to hear feedback like that. First ever acceptance. People walk into our festival door sometimes, first time they've ever been to a film festival, first film they've ever had, and to get those first timers is great. And let's talk a little bit about your first step in the industry, because obviously in this movie you wore many hats. You were acting and directing, and I'm sure you did a whole bunch in pre and post, obviously. But where did you start in the industry?
In the industry, I mean, I've been making content since I was a little kid, and that kind of segued into high school. I was, I would make videos that they would show at like the prep rallies and stuff. And then that was kind of, we had like 900 students at our school. So sitting in the gym and listening to all those people laugh at the videos that I made, it kind of, this is always what I've wanted to do. When I was a little kid, I said I wanted to be an actor, and then that turned into a director. And it's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I've always pushed to do it. And we started a YouTube channel like 4 or 5 years ago called Taco Truck, and we saw a lot of success there. And then COVID happened, and that kind of faded away. And then I was like, I've always wanted to submit something. I've always wanted to make something with the intention of submitting it to festivals, and I never took the initiative to do that. And I finally felt like I was motivated enough and ready to do that. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
All right. Sounds like you've been doing this a long time. And in this film, you chose to play a part in your film. How did the casting overall come together just for Brew Story?
So everyone in the short I've worked with on other projects, and it's a comedy, but the approach here was to not take it as a comedy, kind of pretend like it's a drama. So like casting that the lead actor, it was important to cast someone that wasn't going to try to approach it as a comedy, was going to just kind of like take it seriously and play it serious and let the comedy come from the writing. And the lead actor I've worked with, he's really great. I reached out to him. I thought he would be a good fit for the role, but I kind of like broke down, you know, what I was looking for as far as like, I don't want you to treat this like a comedy. I want you to, this is serious. This is a serious film, and I want you to treat it that way. So originally I was actually going to play that part because I felt like that role specifically, like there was a really specific way that role needed to be portrayed. And I felt like there was a lot of people I could put in that role, and they wouldn't get it. They would try to, like, a lot of times working in comedy, people try too hard to be funny, and they don't let the writing do the work of the comedy. And they try to like make silly faces and say things weird, but really like it's just about this particular case was about playing it straight. So, yeah, I didn't really have like an auditioning process or anything. I just reached out to Joe. We had a couple script read throughs, and then, yeah, it was all, I kind of, it all kind of came together pretty easily.
Wow, that's that's an interesting approach, because one of the questions that we do ask in our judging process is about comedic timing, which doesn't always apply to dark comedy or things that are, you know, supposed to be really serious or have that serious vibe but turn into ridiculous situations. So that's something for us to even consider in our judging. Not that anyone had any complaints about comedic timing, but not every category is judged the same, you know. And in comedy, you know, we have dark comedy, we have romantic comedy, we have regular comedy, and trust me, the judges approach them all very, very differently. Yours kind of fits in just about any festival format that we have. Looks very good, production value is very high. You really took the time in lighting and production and really making it look good. And we kind of saw that connection between, you know, the lead actors was, you captured awkward. It's the someone, one of our judges put it in the notes. It's the escalation of awkward, which I think is pretty cool, man. That's a pretty cool compliment. You know, that's probably what my wife says about me behind my back. But
yeah,
no, really, really, really cool thing to say about your film. So good job on both sides of the camera.
Thank you.
So, what do you got next? I mean, you know, Brew Story has been out for a minute and probably winding down its festival run at this point. What do you got going on next?
So I'm working on one short right now. We're actually shooting the last scene on Sunday. And then with Brew Story, the one that we're working on now, I have 2 other shorts that are all kind of very similar in style. And I'm gonna edit them all together to be a pilot episode of like almost like a sketch comedy show. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna try to send that around and see what happens. So I'm working on a pilot right now, and Brew Story actually is a part of that pilot.
Oh, cool! All right, so you're building on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I was talking to somebody the other day. We now, especially in the past 5, 8 years, 10 years, I guess, we have a streaming mindset now where people want to see the same characters, you know, for hours and hours. It's almost like the feature film thing is almost out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to see the same characters come back and see them in new situations and see them develop. So good luck on that. That sounds exciting.
Thank you.
Well, before we get out of here, is there anything you wanted to add at all?
Just appreciate all of the festivals that you've played this in. You know, this is the first time I've done this, so definitely will be submitting more projects in the future. I really like that, you know, especially with this one. Like, we've definitely gotten rejected by a lot of festivals, and that's not a surprise. But I like, you guys really have like a lot of comedy focused festivals, and I think a lot of the stuff that I work on, like that's going to be, you know, that's going to be where I get my action, is in the comedy festivals. So
For sure. And you know, that's, you know, going back, it's one of those things I talk about in my book is playing comedies with comedies. There's something to that, you know. And then we do have short film festivals that play it all, and the roulette thing, you know, playing a horror, then a comedy, then a doc, is it's still very traditional in the film industry. It still works, but there's something about comedy film festivals and um, just the expectation from every film is, how is this director going to make me laugh? And even when you're sitting watching that program, and Austin Comedy Film Festival is very competitive. I mean, Houston Comedy is probably the most competitive festival we have, but Austin Comedy is right there. And one of the reasons why it's so competitive, you know, the volume of submissions, and the Austin judges are really like, if you're watching the program, you're saying to yourself, either I love this and it's funny, or I can see why the judges picked it, right?
mm-hmm.
And the Austin judges are just all about, is this thing making me laugh? Not necessarily on production value, which you've done great, but there's stuff people turn in, funny music videos on their phone that are 2 minutes, you know, iPhone edited and things like that. And it's like laugh, 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 laugh. And a lot of times at some of the traditional festivals, it's like, what's the look? What did they shoot on? Is it, you know, is the
Yeah.
cinematography beautiful? And there's just a lot of other standards. You know, Hollywood's hardly ever given out, you know, Academy Awards for comedy or science fiction. It's always like crying, tear-eyed dramas.
Yeah,
And
you kind of need that whole, like that, you just need that like element of like heart in there. You need that like heart aspect to it, which, you know, this one didn't have. But there's no message at all to be taken away from this film.
yeah, it's or be on guard. You know, next time you go get a cup of coffee, that's probably about the only.
Yeah, that's really what it's exploring, is what people are willing to do for a cup of coffee.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff. Well, hey, thanks a lot for your time today. We appreciate, you know, all the backstory and everything about this film. We're excited to screen it at Austin Comedy. We think it's going to make our audiences laugh. You make us look good, and thank you for submitting this film to us.
And thank you, and hopefully one of these days I can make it to one of these festivals.
We're going to get to Atlanta and have a couple festivals there in December. So we're getting closer. We're getting within road trip.
Moving closer to Ohio.
And if you find a great venue in Ohio, that I need to know about, let me know, and
okay,
we'll explore it
for sure.
So, thanks a lot. Take it easy and have a good one.
You too.